we're going to do some one-step equations to start, okay? So one-step equations to review, okay? Equation is, so an equation is a mass ends, right? An equation has an equal sign, okay? If it has an equal sign, it's an equation. So something like x plus 2 equals 5 is an equation. If you hear me say expression, that's where there's no equal sign. So maybe 2x plus 3 and just that. There's no equal sign. So we're working with the equation, okay? And the goal is we want to find what x makes, okay? We want to find what x is. And the key there is just plain old x, okay? Just x, not 2x, not anything like that. Okay, so the steps kind of here are question 1, or step 1, we want x on one side of the equal sign, okay, and the answer on the other side. So variables on one side, letters on the other side. And the key that I go through is the opposite operation will get rid of the number. So if you want to move things around, you do opposite operations, okay? In that sense, the opposite operation is the inverse, which we have here. Right. So we're going to go through these questions doing inverse, then I'm going to do some random ones. So the key is we want to move the number to the opposite side as our variable. So if we take a look at a here, here's our variable. So we're going to move this over. And this right now is a negative. So we're right here. So when it goes over, it's going to become a positive. So y equals 2 plus 3. So y equals 5. Okay? So you're doing the opposite. This minus 3 becomes a plus 2. Okay? So next one, we have x plus 2 equals negative 3. So here's our variable right here, and we're going to move this. You have to include the sign that's in front of it. So it's a plus 2 on this side. When it crosses this line, it's going to become a minus 2. X equals negative 3 minus 2. X equals negative 5. Okay? Now, if we do this one, we have r over 8. Okay? And this here is a divide. So if something's over it, it's the same as saying divide. So that's the same as r divided by 8. Okay? But we write it like this because it's a lot easier when we get higher up, doing some bigger questions. So right now we have divide by 8. When it crosses the equal sign, and I'll make this will be equivalent to our equal sign. So I was doing it here. Right? When it crosses our equal sign here, as a divide 8 on this side, it becomes a times 8. So we got r equals 7 times 8. So r equals 56. I'll make this a little smaller. Here's my equal sign again. So right now we have 2 times x. Okay. So if we have, as I messed that up, we have a multiply by 2. So we have a multiply by 2. So when it goes over, it's going to become a divide by 2. So 8 divided by 2 equals x. So x equals 4. And it's 100% fine to have the x on this side when you solve it. It doesn't always have to be the variable on the left-hand side. This one here, we have negative 2x equals 14. Okay, so what's the operation here? Well, the operation is multiplication. So right now I have times negative 2. So it moves over, it's going to be divided by -2. So x equals 14 divided by -2. X equals 7. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. Okay. If I were to do another one, I'll do the one down here. So let's say I had x squared equals 144. Okay. This here, we don't have plain old x. Remember, we just want x. So what do we have here? We have x squared. Okay, so we have x squared. So when we go over, it's going to become a square root. The square becomes a square root. So it's going to go equals square root 144. So x is going to equal 12. I don't think I can give you any other one-step equations there. They're all the same pretty much. Just whenever we move anything over the equal sign, it does the inverse. Okay, I would suggest even like writing this out beside you, or if you have like a erasable thing, write it. So when you move stuff over, write it in here, write it in here. So for example, if I had equations such as 4 plus x equals 10, right? Oh, what's it? This is an odd one because there's nothing in front of the 4 here. But you know it's a positive 4. So I can go over to my chart here and go positive 4. So when I bring it over, it's going to become a negative 4. Then I can go back down here and go 10 minus 4, and then sum everything up with 6. Okay? So work this operations chart back and forth here. Whatever you have, so if I had a -8, when it crosses over, it becomes a +8. Okay? And go practice your one-step equations.